We were offered $50 million. We hit the gay wall and we declined. And after declining, we ended up in a jail cell.
And so isn't it interesting, after he declines this money, they then have him arrested. Is it a coincidence, a little sus that this is happening right now? Coach Greg, in today's video, apparently Andrew Tate lost all of his gains, and so he had to go back to prison. I mean, really, have we not tried this man already? And so apparently him and his brother Tristan Tate were arrested in Romania, went to jail for sexual aggression allegations from back in 2012 to 2015. 10 years ago, he allegedly did something. And what exactly is sexual aggression? Did he approach a woman and say, I want to get your phone number? Did he do something inappropriate? I mean, if he did, horrible. Obviously, we don't want that. But remember, wasn't he in jail for like 90 days? I remember doing a video on this guy and he went to jail and he came out, he was looking jacked. And so the question was, did he take performance enhancing drugs in prison? What was he doing? How did he get so jacked? What exactly was going on? Yet again, the guy gets arrested. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, are spent on Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. And compared to what? Are there not other crimes that perhaps are happening out in the world? Why are they so focused on these two individuals for something that allegedly happened over 10 years ago? And did they not investigate this? Was this not already done? How are they continuing to bring up the same charges yet again? And so sexual aggression, reaction to Tate brothers detained on UK charges. And so let us see what exactly is sexual aggression. What have they allegedly done? Remember, we're saying allegedly. We don't know what he did, what he didn't do. We know that he's been up on charges before. He's been in prison before. And so is Tristan Lee going to yet again have to spend 90 days in jail? And what is to become of his body? Every time he goes to prison, he seems to get that much more jacked. And so is this the secret? Is this how he's going to eventually get more jacked than last time? Eventually be a bodybuilder.
4 women had reported Tate to UK authorities for alleged sexual violence and physical abuse.
And so allegedly there were 4 women that brought up these charges. They investigated it and they decided, the Crown said, no, we're not going to court. And so typically what that means is that they don't have enough evidence, or they investigate it and they say there's no point in actually going to trial because the guy's going to be found innocent. If they thought there was enough evidence, then they would go to trial. That's typically how these things work.
Before you even read that, I'm like, let me guess, sex crimes.
And Adam, read that.
Let me guess.
Adam, what's sexual aggression mean? Hey girl, give me your number.
Okay, and so what is the definition of sexual aggression? Sexual aggression is defined as a person engaging in sexual behavior with someone who does not or cannot consent to engage in that behavior. And so that sounds really bad. And so, for example, if you're inebriated, you've drank too much, you're passed out, you can't consent nor you can deny. And so clearly, those are serious crimes. And so if he did any of these things, very, very serious. But remember, he's already gone to jail for this for 90 days. They investigated it, and the Crown basically said, we're not going to go to trial. But these 4 women, they then said, no, we're going to trial it yet again. And so who knows? Perhaps he did, perhaps he didn't. I'm not here to decide. I'm not making judgments. I'm just reporting the news.
We were offered $50 million, and when we escape this Matrix attack, when we're no longer tied up inside of the legal system, I'm going to tell you which company offered it to us. So you may as well kill me now.
And so remember, Andrew Tate has been banned on YouTube for the way he acts, for what he speaks. Essentially, he's been canceled. Now, many people don't like what he says. He's very polarizing. Similar to Jordan Peterson, many people don't like what he says. They don't think he has the right to form an opinion, to share it. My personal opinion is that people should be allowed to say what they say, and then we should be allowed to criticize it. And so, for example, if you don't like me, if you don't like the fact that I say that, for example, bikini competitions are overtly sexual, then you should have the right to say, no, they're not sexual at all. I mean, the fact they're walking around in a thong with their hair blocking their backs and being judged on mostly their glutes has nothing to do with being sexual whatsoever. You have every right to say that. But I should have every right to say, nah, it kind of is a little sexual. Maybe we should make some changes. And so if Jordan Peterson or Andrew Tate or Donald Trump or anyone says something that you you don't like, I still think they should have the right to say it so that other people can criticize, we can learn, we can express our opinions. And without that, without the freedom of speech, how can we ever grow as a society?
And we were offered $50 million, and we basically had to have certain opinions on LGBT and certain opinions on Israel-Palestine, and we had to wear certain clothes and dress in a certain way and do certain things, and we would be protected by the media establishment. They have said, we spend a lot of money on advertising in mainstream media, so the mainstream media will never attack you because they cannot go against the poster child of the people who finance them. Basically, we hit the gay wall, and we declined. And after declining, we ended up in a jail cell.
And so apparently, Andrew Tate is saying he was offered $50 million. That's a lot of money to say certain things that he didn't believe in. And so he rejected that money. He said, no, I want to be my own person. I want to say my own things. I'm not going to say what you want. And because of that, he's saying that they're trying to cancel him. And look what's happened to him since then. Canceled from YouTube, canceled from other channels. Half of the world likes him, half the world hates him. He's been arrested for the second time. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars spent on him from things he's accused of from perhaps 10 years ago. And so is it any shock to anyone that this is happening yet again? If those alleged charges are actually true, then he 100% deserves it. But what if they're not? What if they're false? What if this is all about shutting him down and preventing him from having a platform to speak his mind?
We hit the gay wall, and we declined. And after declining, we ended up in a jail cell.
And so isn't it interesting, after he declines this money, they then have him arrested. Is it a coincidence, a little sus that this is happening right now? I don't know.
I don't know if you saw this. This was maybe a week or two ago. He was pulled over in Romania. Given a drug test, he passed. Given a breathalyzer, he passed.
And so think of it, many people hate Andrew Tate, but is he really that bad? Remember, the guy isn't drinking, he doesn't do drugs, they've arrested him, they've drug tested him, he hasn't done any of these things. And so if it's true that he hasn't done anything to these women, that they're just charging him because they want to silence him, then what do you think of that? Like really, sit there and imagine yourself, you are Andrew Tate. You speak out about something that you truly believe in, and you're offered a certain amount of money to not say that, and you decline it, and then you get arrested. How would you feel? And so I know a lot of people don't like him, but just try to picture yourself being in his shoes. And so is it really fair? Should we be canceled, especially men out there who have certain opinions? If you, for example, as I've said, that bikini competitions are very sexual in nature, should you be canceled for that? Would that be fair? Do you like that? You have a thought, you want to share it, you bring out that thought, and people say, I've had enough of you. I don't ever want to hear from you again, and they shut you down. How do you react to that?
We like these guys. We're rooting for those guys. Do we agree with everything they say? No. But do I agree with everything anyone says? No.
You're not going to agree with everything that Andrew Tate says, Jordan Peterson, Donald Trump, Coach Greg. There's no way we can all have the same thoughts. There's no way we're going to agree on everything. But is it not okay to agree to disagree? Do we not have the right to share or at least express and voice our opinion, even if it's different from yours? We don't all think alike. I should be allowed to think my way. You should be able to think yours. I think everyone should do cardio. I love bike riding. I want everyone to ride a bike. But I think that everyone should have the right to say, bike riding sucks and Coach Greg's an idiot. I think you have every right to say that. And I have every right to say, I disagree. Biking's amazing. We should be able to have these debates, these arguments, and no one should be canceled.
There's probably a sense of comfort where he's like, I know this is all bullshit.
Andrew Tate is probably thinking, well, I did none of these things, and so I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm not worried. But imagine the frustration. Already been to jail, already been arrested the second time, trying to be extradited to the UK to face charges that perhaps he did, perhaps he didn't do, we don't know. Only Andrew Tate knows this. But imagine how frustrating it is to be this famous, this big of a celebrity, but have to fight this every single day.
There are comments they made Sunday night that, hey, here's what we're going to do. Whether you do this or not, we're going to come out and talk about who gave the $50 million offer to them. Who could that $50 million be? Is it BBC?
Is it possible that they're being arrested because of what they said on their own show? Is it possible that the powers that be, the higher-ups, the ones that are offering them $50 million, we don't know who they are, that they are orchestrating this? I don't know. I have no answers. I'm just reporting to news. And so, listen, if you don't like Andrew Tate, don't be in the comment section saying Coach Greg needs to be canceled because you're reporting this about Andrew Tate. I don't even have an opinion. I'm just reporting news. I don't know.
These guys didn't kill Kennedy, and they're being extradited at great cost, great publicly, from Romania to here.
Exactly. Imagine the cost of this. I mean, if it happened to anyone else, like if these guys weren't famous, do you think all of this would be happening right now? If they were nobodies, they weren't rich, they weren't celebrities, do you think this would be happening?
Romania found nothing. They remember they had him in jail for a while, then they put him in house arrest for a while, and then they finally had to set him and say, now you can go to your own home for house arrest, and then there was nothing. And now all of a sudden, well...
And so imagine the money that was spent. Imagine they were in jail for months. Picture yourselves right now, you're watching this, you were in jail for 90 days, taken away from your families, and they did all the research they could. They spent hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars interviewing everybody. What do you know about Andrew Tate? Do you think he could do this? Asking questions, surveillance, doing everything. And at the end of it, the Crown decides we can't prosecute, we don't have enough evidence. And then later it happens again. Would you not be frustrated? Now remember, try to put your bias aside, whether or not you like Andrew Tate. Can you not understand how difficult that would be for him? Can you not put yourself in his shoes? And so imagine, every time you criticize someone for having an opinion, for saying what they believe, do you really think you should be doing that? Why are we critiquing people so heavily for something that they think just because we don't agree with them? Perhaps it's, should children wear a Halloween mask on Halloween? If you think that they should wear a Halloween mask, so be it. Say your point. If you don't think they should be wearing a Halloween mask, well, also say your point. And remember, we're not talking about Halloween masks. Stay woke in these streets. Big brr.
It's headline news on all these different things.
Good point.
So it's going to backfire dramatically. Their whole intention is to diminish his star power. It's only going to make it greater.
And so with all the backlash, all the people doing videos about what's going on, it's only making them even more popular. When you try to silence someone, people want to hear that message that much more, because after all, if you let him speak his message, people can then say, yeah, I agree or I disagree. And so whatever Andrew Tate says, maybe you don't like his opinion. Maybe you don't agree with him. He's too masculine. He's too toxic. Well, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But if you don't allow him to speak or to have that opinion, are you in fact any better? And who's to decide who's toxic, who is too much? Is it you? Is it me? Are we the experts? Who is to police this? And so my opinion, people should have the freedom, the right to express themselves, and everyone else, if they don't agree with it, they can write back, they can comment back, but if we don't allow people to have free speech, then what are we as a society? And so let me know in the comment section, do you think people should have the right to speak out, to speak their mind? Whether it's Jordan Peterson, Donald Trump, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Coach Greg, should we not be allowed to express ourselves, good or bad, to share opinion, freedom of speech, and have other people decide, do you agree or disagree? Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Don't forget about the cookbooks, the Hard and Last Time clothing line. I'm in Montreal right now, on the way to the UK. Going to be attending the Arnold Classic UK. Can't wait to be there. Looking to meet all the fans. Going to be an amazing time. And please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget, for all the supplements, code Greg, 15% off. And until next time, I am out.